Well, hello. I'm Nitesh Chawla. I'm a Frank M. Freeman Professor of Computer Science and Engineering, and also the founding director of the Lucy Family Institute for Data and Society at the University of Notre Dame. I'm one of the co-PIs of the CCAS grant, which is an NSF-funded Center on Computer-Assisted Synthesis. And today we have a bunch of our PIs and student trainees, student scholars, postdoctoral scholars, staff scientists gathered together on a beautiful campus since yesterday to talk about computer-assisted synthesis. What can AI and machine learning do for molecular discovery, for chemical synthesis, etc. And with me today, we have an esteemed scholar of data science, all the way from Los Angeles, from UCLA. And I'd ask her to introduce herself to us.
Hey, hello, everyone. My name is Wei Wang. I'm the Leonard Kleinrock Professor in Computer Science and Computational Medicine at UCLA. I'm also the Director of the Scalable Analytics Institute at UCLA. So I'm so happy to be here at Notre Dame today to enjoy this event. It's fascinating to meet so many actually computer scientists and chemists and to work on joint project together.
So wait, I think it is delightful. As a machine learning AI researcher, we are maybe 3 machine learning PIs in over a dozen chemists and chemical engineers. And we've been in it now for a year. How is it going for you? Like, what do you think? Where are some of the, what are some of the exciting projects you think your students are engaged on collaboratively? And where do you see, even as we think about AI for science, this is a great application of AI for science. So what is your perspective? How's your experience going with this?
And so far, it's actually very exciting. Thank you for bringing me in. And my student and I we started quite a few joint projects with many different actually PIs and scientists in the team. So, and for example, one of them actually was even with one of your students and with a few others, right? So we actually work on model try to predict the yield of the chemical reactions, which is a very challenging problem, not only in the chemistry sense, but computationally it's very challenging. Actually, that's where the AI and the machine learning may be able to help to break the ground. Yeah. That's our hope, right? So there's a number of challenges actually. Other people may find that, wow, that's a difficult task, and then they may not feel very comfortable in, approaching the computational approach in the traditional sense. Yeah. But when we hear about this, we feel like, oh, wow, this is the problem we love to think about, yes. Right? So we want to know those challenges, those open questions, exactly. So that we can use it to drive our development of actually next generation of AI and machine learning technologies. And I think actually we're at the right moment, yes. Right? Everybody is witnessing that AI and machine learning is going through a transition, a revolution, right now, right? So it's compared to those, sequencing effort or microarray and the health, informatics activities 10, 20 years ago. Actually, back then we didn't have this powerful machine learning engine. Right now, I think we're at the right time, and also feel that we have this potential already equipped with this potential of. Actually go into and address this problem, yes. Right? So it's not like we know it and then we don't think we can solve it. But right now, I can see there's a potential. Yeah. But still, it needs us and to work together, yes. to actually push forward the frontier.
Yeah. And I agree, the working together to push forward the frontier, because it needs us to work with the chemist and vice versa.
Yes.
Right? We have to ask questions which may sound dumb to a chemist, but it's okay. Yeah. Because only then we can, as a collective, get better. And likewise, the chemists have to ask us questions about some machine learning AI assumptions that we have to be able to address. And I also agree that with what you just said, Wei, is the right time. And I almost feel that we wrote our proposal 2 years ago talking about these things. Yeah. And large language models and ChatGPT, and these things were not quite available. Yeah. So we almost predicted that we would be at this point
Yeah.
2 years later and really ride this wave.
Yeah. I feel like we're very lucky
Yeah.
to be at this
Yeah,
position.
we are fortunate. And I think we have a responsibility as well, then, Wei, that we are lucky to be in this position. We have to do it right. We have to think about, at Notre Dame, we think about these things a lot, that, as a force for good, what are the ethical challenges? What are the ethical boundaries? What are some of the qualms that we're already seeing with ChatGPT and large language models, that, misinformation, fake images, memes, and you can't trust things that may be coming to fore. I believe there would be such challenges as we think about AI for chemistry,
Right.
that folks could use it for ill-intentioned compounds or molecules or etc. So we have to, I think, also, as we spearhead these discoveries and as we spearhead new methodologies, I think it's upon us to also think about what are the ethics governing this and how do we put safeguards? What do you think?
I think this absolutely is a very critical issue, and we are at the juncture that actually we can no longer ignore it.
Yes.
Right? We can no longer pretend that that's somebody else's problem.
Yes.
Actually, it's our problem.
Yes.
So we have to address this. That makes me think that actually, for example, trustworthy AI
Yes.
is critically important. And not only when people dealing with something, directly with a human, like, it's like a computer-human interaction or medicine, right? And they think about, okay, we need to do trustworthy AI, but actually it's everywhere.
Yes.
In this chemistry world, right? It's equally important.
Yes. Because, it's almost like this, as there's an old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? And now, as we are making these tools and, we as academics embrace open source as well, right? So
Yeah.
what we do, we publish, we make the code and we make the data available, which is an important tenet of science. But at the same time, there are potentials of misuse by folks. So, and you're correct, it's we who have to think about, like, what boundaries, what triggers, what failures we may put into our own software, such that, we can at least, if not fully stop, slow down or pause or, because I feel, an adversary is only going to get smarter and better, but it clearly is from the beginning to the end, a thoughtful exploration on our part.
Yeah, it is actually also upon us to actually develop those methodologies that can safeguard this, right? So it's like, well, maybe there's a theory to prove, right? So mathematically, we can guarantee certain properties.
That's a really good point.
And maybe there's some other actually policies or principles we should jointly develop, right? So that actually there's some regulation we should have in place.
Yes.
I think we should think about, actually this from every aspect, right? How we can make sure that the power of AI, right, is steered towards the right direction.
Yes, absolutely. And perhaps what's also important is, in the next 5 to 10 years of the CCAS we have and our collaborations together on this and many other things, right? And our friendship for many years on these things. The students that we train, they'll be the leaders tomorrow. They'll be sitting in these chairs instead of us, right? And this has to be ingrained in them, that we're gonna think about the world that we're gonna create and think about it differently. And maybe it's a generational change that has to come in as we think about ethics and AI and its use in different domains.
This is why it's so important, actually, not just we're talking about it, but actually we have to somehow include that into the education, right? For the next generation data scientists, chemists, right? So we have to make sure that that's in their blood.
It is in their blood.
Yeah.